掉，妈妈真的对你不起啊！
No, thank you. I really appreciated it. It was a good thing. Thank you.
A newborn Chinese baby girl was abandoned by her parents. Not long after, an American couple adopted her. 24 years later, when her biological parents tearfully expressed their regret and longing for her, the daughter smiled and said that being abandoned was actually a good thing. But how could she say that, when she had been left behind at birth? To understand, we need to start with the story of how this young woman began searching for her birth family.
My name is Joy Jones. I was born June 2nd, 1995. I was found in the government of Huxi on July 20th, 1995, and I was taken to the Chuzhou Social Welfare Institute. I was adopted May 13th, 1997, and taken to America.
In the video, the girl speaking fluent English is actually Chinese. She also has a Chinese name, Chu Hofeng. In her memory, she has no recollection of her birth parents. She grew up in an orphanage, and it was only thanks to a kind-hearted American couple that she finally had a real home of her own. According to the information from the orphanage, in 1995, she was abandoned by her birth parents at the front gate of the Hoshi Town government building. Luckily, a passerby discovered her. But there was nothing on her, no name tag, no note with her birth date, not even a single clue to her identity. She was handed over to the local police. The officers investigated every household in the area that had given birth within the past 6 months, knocking on doors one by one, but no leads ever turned up. In the end, they had no choice but to send her to the Chuzhou Social Welfare Institute. The director there gave her the name Chu Hofeng. Though her life had begun with hardship, things took a dramatic turn when an American couple walked into the orphanage. Mr. and Mrs. Jones had always dreamed of having a daughter, but were never able to realize that dream. Eventually, they came to China, visiting the Chuzhou Welfare Institute, where they saw many children who had been abandoned by their parents. At that time, China had already introduced inter-country adoption policies, allowing foreign couples who met the requirements to adopt Chinese children. At the institute, the Joneses met the just-turned 2-year-old Chu Hofeng. Her sweet, adorable face melted their hearts instantly, and they knew right then and there that they wanted to adopt her. After a lengthy process of paperwork and evaluation, their application was finally approved. They paid $30,000 in adoption fees and brought the little girl home across the ocean. The Joneses gave her a new name, Joy. They hoped she would grow up happy and carefree. The couple ran a family business and were well off, providing Joy with a comfortable and loving environment. Surrounded by care and affection, Joy grew into a bright and cheerful girl. Her painful beginnings had no visible impact on her. She quickly adapted to the American lifestyle and picked up English with ease. Since she was still very young, her adoptive parents didn't tell her the full truth at first. But as she grew older, she began to notice how different she looked from other kids. When she asked about it, the Joneses didn't hide anything. They told her that she was from China and had lived in an orphanage. Learning the truth didn't make Joy sad. Her adoptive parents had showered her with unconditional love, making her feel just as cherished as any biological child would be. She felt the warmth of a real family. With their nurturing support, Joy was accepted into Yale University, where she majored in engineering. After graduation, she joined the family business and began living a life many could only dream of. Everything seemed set for a calm, happy future, until one day, she learned that a girl who had been adopted by another American family from the same orphanage had just found her birth parents with the help of a volunteer group. That sparked something in Joy. She grew increasingly curious about her own biological parents. Who were they? What did they do? And most of all, why did they abandon her?
And I just wanted to find my birth parents and tell them thank you for giving me the chance.
With that goal in mind, Joy reached out to a group of volunteers who help people reconnect with lost family. She hoped they could help her find the answers she had always wondered about. Joy's adoptive parents had no objections at all. Now that their daughter was grown up, they fully supported her in whatever she chose to do and never tried to interfere. Based on the information Joy provided, the volunteers quickly identified a woman named Chai Zhongxian. When asked by the volunteers, Chai admitted that she had indeed had a daughter, but said that the child had been given away when she was still very young. As for where the girl had gone, she repeatedly avoided giving a clear answer. It wasn't until the volunteers explained that an American girl was looking for her biological parents, and that all the information she provided matched theirs, that Chai and her husband finally confessed the truth. With tears streaming down their faces, they spoke of the deep sorrow and longing they had felt for over 20 yeyears.
32年，可是这心的不太可以大树啊！我对不起我的女儿，这么些年天的，给我报纸呀！
Back when their daughter was born, Chai and her husband already had a son. Their financial situation was so dire that they couldn't afford to raise a second child. Still, it was their own flesh and blood, and Chai couldn't bear to give her baby girl away. They struggled to raise her for 6 months, but when they simply couldn't make ends meet, they decided to give her up. They asked every friend and relative they could think of, but no one was willing to take the child. So on July 20th, 1995, the couple left their baby daughter at the entrance of the Hoshi Town government building. Government workers soon discovered the abandoned baby girl. After a thorough search turned up no clues about her family, she was sent to a local orphanage. From that moment on, Chai was haunted by guilt. But back then, it had felt like the only way for the rest of the family to survive. As time went by, their lives gradually improved, and Chai began to think more and more about the daughter she had given up. She desperately wanted to find her, but China is a vast country. Trying to locate one person felt like looking for a needle in a haystack. For more than 20 years, she tried everything, but never found a single trace of her daughter.
走了这么多年，我都不知道往哪个方向去走。
It wasn't until the volunteers came that they finally learned the truth. Their daughter had been adopted by an American couple and had been living overseas ever since. No wonder all their searching had led to nothing. When Joy learned that the volunteers had found her biological parents, she was overjoyed. Following their advice, both sides agreed to take a DNA test, which confirmed their biological connection. For various reasons, Joy wasn't able to return to China, so the volunteers arranged a video call. After 24 years apart, Chai and her husband finally laid eyes on their daughter. On the other end of the call, Joy looked radiant and full of life, always smiling. Because they couldn't speak the same language, the volunteers served as interpreters. Chai couldn't stop apologizing to her daughter, saying she regretted giving her up when she was just a baby, and sharing how much she had missed her over the years.
女儿，我对不起你啊！
有妈
妈妈
忘
这么点大给你领掉，妈妈真的对你不起啊！
your mom want to say sorry to you.
No, thank you. I really appreciated it. It was a good thing. Thank you.
Joy said she had never held anything against them. Her adoptive parents had taught her to be kind and forgiving. Besides, if her birth parents hadn't given her up, she might never have had the bright, beautiful life she now enjoyed. The only reason she wanted to find them was to see what her birth parents looked like, and to thank them for giving her life. Joy's open-hearted attitude only deepened Chai's guilt. Her father, sitting beside her, remained silent throughout the call. Then, perhaps overwhelmed by emotion, he suddenly opened a drawer and pulled out Joy's original birth certificate. He told her that her real birthday was February 5, 1995, not June 2, as she had always believed. Coincidentally, the day they reunited happened to be her actual birthday.
Today is your birthday in Chinese.
That's ironic. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yes.
Happy birthday!
So happy birthday.
Thank you. This is the best birthday present ever.
Because Joy was far away in the United States, Chai and her husband couldn't visit her in person. With heavy hearts, they said goodbye through the screen, repeatedly reminding her to take good care of herself. Before she could finish her words, Chai was already in tears. No matter what, the fact remained, they had abandoned Joy all those years ago. Now, they had no right to ask her to accept them. Fortunately, Joy had been adopted by a loving American couple who gave her a life of comfort and endless love. She had the opportunity to receive a first-rate education and even attend Yale University. Maybe this was all part of God's plan.